So this is part 2 of the Spirit Attachment series, and we're going to be talking about tools that can be used in order to help with the situation of spirit attachments. And what we're going to be discussing is crystals. And I'm going to break all of this down. So I'm going to categorize them into groups of defensive and offensive, so something that we can weaponize. I just want to talk briefly about crystals. I am by no means an expert about crystals. They have both metaphysical and magical properties. However, these particular crystals that I'm going to talk about, nowhere have I seen have they been attributed to these specific things, these specific attributes that have to do with spirits. I want to say, first of all, where this information came from was from an angel. So I was talking to an angel one day specifically about what can be used, and under the subject of crystals, there were a couple that were mentioned. And me being the skeptic that I always am, I had to try them out. And I've been kind of like in a research phase for some time now. I could say without a doubt they most certainly do help. So I'm very grateful for this knowledge. Again, these specific crystals that I'm going to mention have specific effects on spirits. So I'm going to talk about what they are doing and kind of the reaction that I've specifically had from spirits. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is black kyanite. Okay, you might not be able to see it against my shirt, but black kyanite, and then also black tourmaline. Of the two, black kyanite is the more powerful. So there is a difference. But black tourmaline is also quite powerful, not as powerful, but it's more readily available in pieces of jewelry that I found. And that is important because the stones that we're going to talk about, for them to have their maximum effect or best benefit, you want to wear them on your body as close to you as possible. So in a pocket isn't going to be good enough. You want to wear it in a pendant, in a ring, something like that, something that comes in close contact with you, because the energy of the stone is kind of like a fixed energy, and so it incorporates into your aura, into the energy of you. So these are going to be protective stones, and they are well known to be protective stones, as black stones typically are. Things like obsidian, Apache tears, black onyx. However, those don't play a part because they don't have the specific effect that we're looking for, something that spirits are affected by. So we're looking at black kyanite and black tourmaline. When I put it on, and I'm someone who's very sensitive to energy, and specifically spirit energy. So the immediate effect is that everything feels dull, which I don't like the feeling of. I'm used to the sharp, cold energy feeling of spirits all around me, and that feeling actually helps me to do my job, which one of those jobs is to send spirits home, to cross over spirits. Mostly ghosts, but sometimes it's demons, in the event of there just happens to be demons around, or someone is having problems with demons haunting a place or themselves, and one of my main jobs is to exorcise demons. So that's the first thing I noticed, was everything was dull. Now, I experienced a lot of sensations from spirits, mostly pain, a lot of other tormenting type experiences that I wouldn't consider pain, but those dampened, dulled immediately. So it's almost like you have a coat of armor on or like a cushion on. I could still feel them around me, but everything was very dull in comparison. So that I actually did really like, especially when it comes to trying to sleep. So when I'm sleeping, I'm literally like packing it on. I've got a necklace, a bracelet, a ring. I've got anklets anywhere around my body that I can think to put it. Has helped me to dull the sensation of them, and helping me a little bit in some ways. So it really is kind of like a suit of armor. So number one for protection is black kyanite or black tourmaline. Then there is malachite. So malachite is beautiful green stone. Malachite, the spirits hate the taste of. So when they're feeding on your energy, they really are tasting you. They taste who you are, your soul, and the emotions. So demons that feed off of fear, violence, lust, things like that, they're also tasting all of you in those emotions. So putting on malachite, as spirits, usually attachments are attached down this cord of energy that runs like down through your chakras. But immediately I feel them like dispel because the taste for them is so bad. And because I hear them, they say things like, it's disgusting, she's putrid, it's vile, it's horrible. So that's great. We want to taste as terrible, awful, putrid as we can to spirits. We love that. So it actually makes you taste bad. So in these two stones themselves, something that protects you from feeling them and something that makes you taste terrible, most of the time is going to take care of the situation. They aren't going to want anything to do with you. You're too much trouble. Also, they're going to understand that you didn't just come across these two things accidentally, and here you are protected, and here you taste bad. They're going to be angry about it, but let them. That's what we want. We want them to be angry. Another weapon or offensive crystal that can be used is Labradorite. So Labradorite is known to have a lot of magical properties, but the one effect that we are specifically interested in is that it burns spirits. It literally burns them. It's a flame. They're on fire. So this is also a very powerful weapon to use against spirits. So the defensive one being black kyanite or black tourmaline, and your offensive ones being the malachite and also labradorite. I like this particular piece because it's with the clear quartz. And clear quartz is great because it amplifies everything. So it's definitely amplifying the burning effect of the labradorite, and I literally hear them screaming in pain because they're on fire. Now I want to get into something that's a little bit more of a deep dive, and this is going to be for those who have stronger psychic abilities. I want to talk about angel aura quartz. So this one has been especially helpful. So that's a polished one. This one is unpolished. It helps to amplify your aura. So by amplifying your aura, you aren't as susceptible to being fed on. So it makes you, in a way, stronger or more powerful against them. So this is for someone who has more ability, who has more power, and maybe that power is specifically to do with spirits. It has helped me a lot to be stronger in my attacks against them. So this one would be extremely helpful for someone who has more magical abilities specifically to do with spirits. Also, spirit quartz. Spirit quartz can allow someone to command or control spirits. Again, this is going to be specifically helpful and useful for someone who has authority and command and power over spirits already. The spirit quartz and the angel aura quartz may not be that useful to most people. Not to say that you can't wear them, but they may not, it might be overkill, and that's okay. But this one in particular, for those of us who have command and authority over spirits, it does help. It helps you to have more strength or power or command to command spirits. One last thing I want to mention about the black tourmaline or the black kyanite. Again, this is going to be for those of us who have a more sensitive, are more sensitive to energy, and who use that energy on a daily basis, maybe to help other people. Some of us might, that might be a profession. I did notice with the black tourmaline and the black kyanite, because you're so insulated and so protected and you have like this cushion around you, that it became a restraint for some of my abilities. I need to feel energy, and I need that, all that sensitivity. It's a part of what I'm doing in order to do seances, to give readings and things like that for clients. So I have found it best to take this off, take this away while I'm doing seances. So if you're someone that is more sensitive to energy, you might be able to play around and feel what works for you. But the main point, I guess, would be the black tourmaline, black kyanite, and also the malachite. Those are the main ones that we want to focus on. The reason why these are so useful, and I didn't always understand that things like this could have such power, and the reason is that power is coming from the individual. So not everyone is as powerful. Some that have more power are going to be able to give more power to the pieces that they're wearing. In other words, something like Labradorite, someone who is very powerful is going to give this stone a lot of power in itself to burn spirits. But not everyone has the same amount of power. Some may not have psychic abilities, or some are just starting out with their psychic abilities, and there's more to come. So not all Labradorite is going to burn spirits, but it really depends on the power of the individual to give these pieces power. And really the crux of the situation is that if someone isn't as powerful, maybe, to give the stones more power, well, they're not going to be as desirable to be fed on and to be attacked. But someone who is already very powerful is desirable. They are going to be highly sought after to be fed on and for the experience of tormenting someone. So the more power someone has, the more situations they're going to draw to them, good and bad. But we don't want those bad situations to prevent us from being able to fulfill our purpose, as that always has to do with helping other people. So we want to use these as tools along with our own power to continue on in our purpose, and also to have some sort of sanity and some sort of quality of life.